Hello, Morgan. How are you today? How was your Friday so far?
I'm great, Bonnie. Lovely to meet you. Friday so
Lovely,
far is super busy, so that's fantastic.
wonderful, lovely to meet you too. I'm talking to you from Toronto, Canada. You've worked here,
I am
no?
here.
Oh, you're here
I'm here.
now. What are you working on?
No, I live here now.
Okay, I'm so clued out. I am so sorry. It's
I
Friday. Happy
know.
Friday. I did not know that, Morgan. Wow, that's amazing because I know you've worked on a lot of stuff here. Well, I'm glad you live here now. So you're welcome. We have to have a
I
coffee
love
in
it.
person.
We should, absolutely.
Well, let's talk about this one, Global Harmony. I found it quite riveting, and the storyline. Look, it's intense. There's a lot going on in this script, and a lot of relevancy. Unfortunately, I wanted to know when you were first presented it, what did you feel like? What connected you to not just this character, Richard Foster, but the whole story?
Honestly, the first time I read it, I totally relate to the ideals of equality for all, to be able to offer, not just to, offer services and like money or anything, but be able to have better education and access to healthcare. I am such a proponent, like I am all for that. And I think it's a fantastic way of thinking.
Yeah.
So I kind of was immediately drawn to the ideals that the film kind of had, but also Richard. And for him, his struggle of trying to break through from a family that is not known for doing the best with their fortune.
Yeah.
And I think, people have there are rich people can easily give back or they could easily keep. And I loved his personal struggle with that and wanting to really give back as much as possible to leave a legacy for not just for him and for his family, but for so many other people for generations to come. I thought that was really beautiful that he thought beyond himself and for the people who deeply need it.
Yeah, I mean, as I'm watching it, I'm going, yeah, I felt his struggle, obviously, but I don't know, like, did you think that he was a bit too idealistic?
Yeah, I
Talk
mean,
about that a
absolutely.
little. It's
Yeah,
hard,
I mean,
right? Yeah,
yeah, I think, I mean, no one has like we all have flaws, right? And so I think that's part of his flaws is that I think he can get swept up in his ideals and maybe not see the dangers right in front of him. And then, like when certain things were happening in the film that presented a danger, he didn't really attack it head on. He kind of swept it to the side because he didn't want anything to derail him. And I think that's a big flaw of his character, which I think is human, because sometimes we don't want to see what's right in front of us, that we just kind of barrel through. And especially, I think it, really just when it became safety to his family is when he kind of woke up a bit. But I do think that there has to be a level of being grounded with reality
mhm.
and having those ideals, and where do you compromise and where you push forward and where do you challenge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. What I found so amazing and unique about this film, not just the locations, but it's such an international cast. I mean,
Yeah.
wow. Okay, so my first question is your director is Italian. He's also a
Yes.
co-star. Was there any, first of all, okay, let's start with having him not just as your director, but somebody that you're working, side by side with for a lot of scenes. How is that a benefit to you as an actor to have him as a co-actor as well?
Honestly, having an actor as a director, I absolutely love because they have a access to language or understanding of the actor's kind of journey or the way that we kind of put things together. So to be able to talk actor to actor, like before I was even cast, actually before I even auditioned for it, he wanted to have a chat over Zoom first, just to see if we were on the same page of the way that we worked, because that was the most important thing. And then they asked to audition. So
Right.
that was really important to him. And it's for me, I love working with someone who knows what an actor's going through, because then you can really benefit from that. You have a shorthand,
Right.
you don't need to explain too much. Um, and I mean, I mean, it's Fabio, he's fantastic. So it's just like, it was so fun to watch him. And he trusted me so much with this role that, there were times he was like, this is where I want to go. And I'm like, I don't connect with that for Richard. I don't. We would have a real like actor to actor, director and writer, because he does everything.
Yeah.
and just to kind of create, where do we compromise and where do we need to create this character together. It's not just his, it's not just mine, it's not just Diego's who also wrote it. We need to form it together and make sure it's going in the right direction. So I absolutely loved
Yeah, were there any language barriers on the set? Like I said, there's so
it.
many international people
Were
in this. It's like,
there?
wow.
There definitely were some, but it's a challenge. I could not complain because I'm literally shooting in Naples, Italy, or on
Yeah.
Lampedusa, this
Hello, world's
gorgeous island.
smallest violin. Yeah, yeah,
I
exactly.
know. I really, I couldn't be frustrated for too long. But I mean, there are, majority of people didn't speak a lot of English. Kind of, there was something at the beginning was very kind of what was the word? Kind of disheartening. I was like a little at jar. I was like, I didn't feel completely connected to everyone. And then you find your own language together. You find
Right.
ways, especially like with the costume and hair and makeup, sometimes you're like, we didn't speak the same language, but we ended up finding a language within ourselves and we were like, it worked so well. So I think that's, you kind of have to throw your ego and everything aside and really connect with the person in front of you who's doing an amazing job, and how can we help each other? So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about a couple of your co-stars. Let's start with Russia because, she's an international singer. She hasn't done a ton of acting. She's done some, but I think this is her first English language film.
This is
Um,
the first time she's ever spoken English film. She is a huge
yes,
film and TV star.
I know. Yeah.
Yes, she's I don't I don't know many people who are working more than the beautiful Russia.
Yeah.
Uh I adore that woman. Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about working with her and what it's like to have somebody who, is big in their own country and then, they're coming to do this English language film and it's a breakout and something new for her. How do you help each other? Like kind of, I found it very interesting because you had a nice chemistry with her.
Yeah, I mean, we were really lucky because we connected immediately. And I just think as people, not only was she like an amazing co-star, we still talk regularly. We are really close friends. We bonded just on a human level. And I love watching and hearing her journey of her life and her, or her work. The way that we helped each other is she's such a star and she's such a
Mhm.
professional and she's so like, I elevated, and I kind of loved that energy from her. And there are times that, with the script, she's like, learning the lines, she was like, this isn't working for me. So we would be able to rewrite it so it could be better for her to say, that she could understand it a bit better, or kind of that kind of thing. So we did it on the fly, obviously with the director and producers as well, but we really just lent into each other, and it wouldn't work if they didn't love each other and have that chemistry, because it's a story about family and him trying
Yeah.
to protect his family in the end. And that was an important thing. And we were very lucky we were inseparable on the island, which
Yeah.
was
Well, I'm
incredible.
sure. I'm sure. Yeah. Yeah. And that location where you shot like your home, pretty
Yeah.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Wasn't hard. It wasn't hard.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like I said, world's smallest violin. And then a young actress who played your daughter.
Fatty.
Wow, like bonding. Sometimes working with kids, you never know, right? But she seemed like she was a little pro. Tell me a little bit about working with her.
Yeah, I can't remember. I feel like this is going to be one of her first films. I think it is her first ever film.
Yeah,
I mean, her English was what she knew of the script is what she knew of the script. And I'm lucky. I'm an uncle. I have six nieces, nephews, and so I love kids in that way. And I was like, this is the way that we can connect. I can be playful with you
yeah,
because he's that fun dad to her, and then to try to protect her. So. We just play like to get to know each other. We would just play with each other and with her mom as a translator, and we would just bond in that kind of way.
yeah. Of
It's hard sometimes, the attention span with children, especially on
course.
location.
Yeah,
The sun is setting, you desperately need it. But she was just like, you're like, hey, we need to do this stuff. Okay, and then just do it, and then we're ready to play again.
yeah.
It was incredible. I don't know if I had that attention span at that age.
Oh yeah, I probably didn't either, for sure. Yeah,
I mean, I struggle at
absolutely.
this
No,
age.
she was good. She was really good. Of course, there's obviously some serious stuff going on in this about child labor laws and things like that, and how kids are, in other countries are taken advantage of or sold or what. It's terrifying. It's still going on. Did you need to do a little bit of research just to kind of dig in about it a little bit to kind of understand it a little bit more other than what you had in the script?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely did a good amount of research, one coming from Richard's point of view, because he discovers it within the film. So all that kind of all the reading and the history of it and the abuse is pretty terrifying. But
Yeah,
there are times that I didn't want to read it, but you kind of have to because you can't turn a blind eye to it and you can't
correct. Yeah.
just pretend it doesn't exist. And the way I definitely work is the more I know about a subject, the more I feel like it's connected within myself. So therefore I don't need to do anything when I'm filming because I'm already living the reality of it because I've read those stories, I've seen those pictures. And it's heartbreaking that it's still happening. It's not just happening in, other countries. It's happening in,
Yeah. North
right next
America,
door.
wherever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's heartbreaking that how prevalent it is. And it's mind-blowing to me that it is. But hopefully we can eradicate that as soon as possible.
Yeah, let's hope. Let's hope. I want to talk about some of the other things that you've worked on because, as I said, you've shot a lot here in Canada. Okay, clearly you've moved here. So, how long have you been
It-
living here now? Tell me your decision
Uh,
why you wanted to move here.
well, I'm Australian, obviously. I
Yes.
left Australia with a big theatre production, A Streetcar Named Desire, with Kate Blanchett, and we
Yeah.
traveled
Oh,
from
yeah. Just that little actress, Kate
just
Blanchett.
the
Yeah.
little, you may
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
it's from Sydney, and we went to DC and New York. So I lived there for a bit, and
Yeah.
it was the most amazing experience. I was 26 at the time, and I didn't want to go home, so I moved to Vancouver in 2010.
Okay.
Vancouver's great, worked in TV, but once I flew to Toronto for a visit, I was with my friend and he looked at me, he said, "You're home." And I'm like, "Yep." And I packed up my bags 2 months later and I moved. And I've been
Amazing.
here since 2015 and I love it.
I,
I love the hustle and bustle of it. And I think the film and TV industry here is huge.
yes.
So, having the opportunities that I've had, I don't think I would have gotten anywhere else. I'm very grateful.
Amazing to yeah, because you have worked on those, some of those Hallmark films and stuff, which are, I don't know, 99% of them are shot here or in Vancouver, mostly here though.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you love about working on those kinds of films? Because, guilty pleasure, I'm going to admit it. Like they're just, you can sit back, relax, not have to worry like that the world's going to blow up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but to work on something like that must be fun.
I absolutely love it, Bunny. I really do because you shoot for 3 weeks, you become a family. So you literally go in, you don't know anybody, you are with each other for 16-hour days, 3 weeks, and then you never see each other again. Some of them I've actually become really very close friends with, but
Yeah.
it's just fun. I mean, the biggest I guess stake is will she love you? Will she not love you? And we all know what the end is. So it's like it's just playful and to fall in love every day it's a joy to be able to have those opportunities and also just working on your craft, being in front of a camera for that amount of time with that amount of dialogue, I think is priceless. And I absolutely love every second of it.
Yeah, I'm wondering, talking to you more, I personally love Australian movies. Like I think that some of the best films come out of Australia. I used to work at a video store back in the day when I was like,
Me too.
in university. And I would always recommend films from Australia because I just think that they're so fantastic. But you said you were doing theater, which is fantastic too. But was it not? Did you not want to do films there, or like what was your reasoning for maybe not doing something in Australia?
Well, I mean, I started being a professional actor when I was 14 in theater, and the opportunities just came, and I went to an incredible drama school, and our theater in Australia is phenomenal, and you can make a really good living in theater, and you do really long runs of shows. You just have the opportunity to play like an array of different characters from incredible writers.
Mm.
That is intoxicating, and it's very addictive. I would have loved to. I've done a lot. I did TV in Australia, but I never
Yeah,
really went into film, just the opportunities. I mean, I finished at drama school and then 3 years later I left. So I didn't really give it the amount of time. I would love to go back and spend like 2 or 3 months a year in Australia working, spending time with family, and then come back
sure.
to Toronto. Like that would be the dream.
Yeah,
But I agree. I think what I love about Australian film is there's a darkness and a humor to everything and a sadness.
100%.
it
Yeah,
just mixed together. Like it's like Muriel's wedding. It's so funny, but then it's really, really sad and dark for about 20 minutes, and then funny again. Like the way
right.
that Australians do that, I just think there's no one else can do it like that.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Well, listen, congratulations on this one. I thought you did a really good job. It was not an easy role, and I commend you for it. And I'm so happy that you're living here and enjoying our wonderful city. So now that the weather's getting better, you can enjoy a little bit more.
Yeah, I can be outside a little bit more.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your time today, Morgan. I really appreciate it, and have a great weekend.
Thanks, Bonnie. What lovely to meet you.
Yeah,
Let's have a
you
coffee.
too. Take care. Absolutely. Anytime. Take care. Okay. Bye bye.
Bye.